Welcome back. If you're new to this channel, my name's Logan. I am a spiritual mentor and healer. I use spiritual gifts such as astrology and tarot to help you step into your purpose, discover your purpose, integrate your purpose, and shed all the masks that you're using in order to be fully and authentically you. So I have switched locations today. It is the day of the full moon in Libra. I usually don't actually do stuff like this on a full moon just because the energy is usually heightened, but I felt like I just wanted to get outside today and go to my favorite place. And also, I'm feeling really good today. You wouldn't believe it if I told you yesterday and the day before, I've been super emotional and just releasing so many emotions, which is kind of why I wanted to record this video. My last video was of my mushroom journey, and the mushroom journey exposed a lot to me. The ones that were on camera, the parts that were on camera were just kind of like vlog style, but like off camera I had a lot of awarenesses, especially around escapism. And no, the mushrooms are not a form of escapism for me. It was much deeper than that. The mushrooms actually exposed things that I have been escaping from. So the energy is super intense and heavy today, so if you're feeling kind of heavy and all over the place, that's completely normal. For some people, it might have happened the week of. I know for me, I've just been releasing so much, and I finally feel clear. I finally feel like I'm ready to talk about this. So escapism can come in many forms. Like, everybody has some form of escapism. It's just our human design to want to escape the pain. We don't want to feel pain. You know, who wants to feel pain? But we have to feel pain in order to actually thrive. Like, pain is a part of the human experience. So it's not fun, but without pain, we wouldn't truly appreciate the good things that come into our lives. And like, you might be watching this and being like, how is that so? But it's the same concept of like a flower blooming. Like, a flower can't bloom without the rain. It just can't. And a rainbow can't come without a storm. It's a part of the experience. And escapism can come in many forms. Escapism, obviously, the top ones are, through drugs and alcohol, but also through food. It also through, not wanting to be alone, using people to, distract yourself. Also working out. Working in general. You might avoid your feelings by putting all your energy and your effort into your craft, which is great. And the thing is, like, it's finding a balance between all things. Like, yeah, you don't want to be just like a depressed person that's like stuck in their shit all day. Like, no, like, you want to feel your feelings, release your feelings, and then let some light in. And that's something that can be really hard on the spiritual journey. And that's something that I've had to be reminded of and remind myself constantly, is like, because I'm very good at feeling my emotions. Luckily for me, luckily and not so luckily, I'm a Pisces moon. Your moon sign is your emotions. It's how you feel. And Pisces is definitely the most sensitive water signs. All water signs are sensitive on different levels, but Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is very like rose-colored glass. It like just wants to help everyone, wants to love everyone. So having a Pisces moon is a beautiful thing. I love my moon, but it's also intense and it's a lot sometimes. So I have no trouble feeling my feelings at all. So some Pisces moons that choose not to feel their feelings, they can really shove those emotions down deep. So I really intentionally do allow myself to feel. But every Pisces moon that I've ever met is very sensitive. Whether they choose to show it or not, you can see it, you can feel it, you can sense it. So if you're interested and want to know more about your moon sign or go deeper, I do offer astrology readings. So check out my website, authenticallylogan.com, or on Instagram if you're interested in that. But anyways, I digress. You have to expect from me, I'm going to have like lots of side tangents. I'll blame that on my Gemini sun. But anyways, yeah, so I feel things very deeply. And I have to remind myself that, yes, it's good to feel. You have to release these emotions, because you cannot suppress things, because then they will stay there forever. They don't go away. They'll come up at more inconvenient times. And so you want to feel, you want to sit with it, you want to get to the root of the problem is, and then you want to go let some light in, because you don't want to stay stuck in that state. And I've stayed stuck in that state for a little while, and it does not serve you. So the key to everything in life is balance. Go figure, I had to realize this once again on a Libra full moon. But my escapism is deeper than I can even explain. So my escapism actually stems from marijuana, weed, but it's deeper than that. It's like, it's not just the weed, but it starts with the weed. And how I know it starts with the weed is that weed is something that I've been hooked on my whole life. And the reason being is because it really healed me. It honestly saved my life. I discovered weed, obviously, in high school, but it never really wasn't that exciting. There was some really good times with my friends in high school when we first started discovering it, when the high was, the highs can never beat when you first started, and you were just so out of it, and you were laughing, and just all the food tasted so good, and God, those were the good days. I remember I had a friend literally pee her pants, and literally, she was on the floor and she pissed herself, and it was just, we're in high school, so we're just so dumb, and it was just freaking hilarious. And then of course, as you get older, the high starts to be more mellow, and you're able to control it more. And so when I went to college in Louisiana, actually, is when I really started partying. I partied a little bit in high school, but not really. My friends and I were very just inner child, just weird as fuck, goofy, it was actually beautiful. We were a very, very different group of friends, but I'm so grateful for them because they were such a huge part of my journey in high school. For me being so different than everybody else, I always felt different. I always felt like this kind of black sheep type of energy, but not in that way, not in a dark way, but just that I was different. I had to wear a lot of masks to be accepted in certain areas of my life, which I did. I wore all kinds of masks, and I was friends with everybody, but it wasn't authentic. And I see how many of those friendships were not true, except for my friends my closest friends. They were definitely in my heart forever. But anyways, yeah, and college is when I really started partying, obviously getting blackout drunk, and for a Pisces moon, that is really, 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 really tough. That brings out some dark sides of you. And I had some really traumatic stuff happen that one day I actually will share on YouTube, because I think that there's somebody that could benefit from my story, but I don't think that right now is that time. But I had something really traumatic happen to me. And around the time that traumatic thing happened to me, this was my first dark night of the soul, by the way, but I wasn't even spiritual yet. But I can see why it happened, because I was supposed to be waking up, but I was a little late to the party. Better late than never. But anyways, so I had that happen, and then I started smoking weed, and it really saved me. I stopped going out because I realized I went out literally every single day, Monday through Sunday, or Monday, all week long. There was something for everything. There was something on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was there, and I was fucked up. And I realized how depressed I started being, especially when this traumatic moment happened in my life, how freaking just distraught I was, and how drinking and getting drunk didn't help. It didn't help at all. And it was weed that saved me. It was weed that kept my peace and that grounded me in that. And then so from then on, I identified as a pothead, and I loved it so much. I gained a lot of weight for sure, because I was just I wasn't going out. I was just chilling. I was doing my thing. I was happy. I didn't want to be around anybody. That's when I started kind of being a hermit homebody more than anything. And so it wasn't too long after that I had gotten arrested for weed. Go figure. And I was just moving to a different area in Louisiana, and I got arrested in Houston right after the holidays. That was my sign from the universe to stop smoking, because it didn't serve me anymore. It did what it needed to do. I was good. I didn't need to keep smoking. But at that point, I was hooked on it. It was, and so I kept smoking, and I was on probation for a year. I had to drive to Houston from Louisiana. It was just basically there was so much shit in my life that just exploded after that point, and it was really just the universe trying to get me to wake up and stop living in my past life energy, and stop focusing on love and relationships and things outside of myself. Stop focusing on codependency and needing external validation and needing all these things from other people, and focusing on what I'm here to do, my purpose, my job. Because I tell you, I've been a job hopper my whole life. I've always been trying to figure out, what should I do? I mean, I've done it fucking all. I've done cosmetology, dental, I've waited tables, I've gone to school for this, for that. Like, I've done so many things and none of it has aligned. And then of course, when I moved to Texas, I got into recruiting, and that's been a thing. But like, even so, the whole point is I'm supposed to work for myself. And I'm supposed to do something that brings me joy and that sparks my passion. And almost at 30, I finally figured that out. And it was actually astrology that helped me discover that and how aligned it is. And so the point of all of this is that I've been trying to quit smoking weed for a while now, because the truth is, since I've had my real spiritual awakening, I realized how much lower my vibration is on weed. And it's not even like bad. It's just like, it feels like a cloud over my head. It feels like now whenever I do smoke weed, before it used to be like I was so functional, but like I was just kind of like not living in reality. Like, and this is no disrespect to people that smoke, because I'm telling you, I hear you, I think about it all the time, every morning, every night, especially when I'm watching a movie. And I've had to go through this path so many times. And so like what I notice about weed is it dulls my personality. I can't think as clearly. I can't channel. Like, yeah, sure, creative expression. Maybe like I'll feel inspired to clean or work out, but like my personality is not as high vibe as it is when I smoke weed. And I love weed. I will always have respect for weed, but God, the addiction that I have from this beautiful plant, I realized that I have abused it and that it doesn't serve me anymore. And so after my mushroom journey, if you followed that, I pulled some cards trying to figure out if it was for my highest good. I pulled the Fool card, which is like, just do it, give it a try, see what happens. Like, because at this point, it was like the universe wanted me to shut up about it. Like if you're gonna do it, because I had been like, should I do it? Like, I want to, just one weekend. Well, or one day. One day doesn't turn into one day for me. It turns into every day. It turns into during like all day while I'm working and I'm functional, but it's like, blah, like, no, like it's an addiction. Like, that should not be a thing. For me, at least. And everybody's story is going to look different. But at this point in my life, I realized how unhappy I was as I was smoking, because I was hiding from something, because I was feeling so much resistance to change and sadness and just these feelings of things that have happened in my life throughout the past couple months that the weed was preventing me from feeling. And sometimes weed will actually like enhance my emotions, like it does serve, but when you abuse it and you use it every single day, every second, like I used to smoke before I did anything. I lived high. And we're not supposed to live that way. We're supposed to thrive in our natural state. These medicines are supposed to be used as tools for healing, for, it's not supposed to be like a everyday thing. And if you're a pothead and you're watching this, that's no disrespect to you. Like, if you're happy and you do your thing. I'm just speaking from my experience in case it resonates, in case it could help you. So I'm not here to be like, you should quit. Like, that's your journey to follow. I'm not going to ever tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I can only speak from my experience. And so there was one day I had a really powerful breakthrough. Well, it wasn't actually with my coach. We have this app called Marco Polo that I send video messages to. And oftentimes it's for myself to hear, because recording videos is therapy for me. And it was through that video that he didn't even see yet that I had a revelation that what I was hiding from is the fact that my life is about to significantly change. Like, I'm about to move to another country. And I don't know what that looks like, because parts of myself used to fear that, used to fear being alone. And now I'm like, I'm ready. But right now I have it cozy and comfy. I have my 1-bedroom apartment with my comfy bed, my space, and my computer, and my corporate job that I'm grateful for, but it also makes me want to pull my hair out and throw my computer out the window at the same time. So, there's that, because I know I'm meant to be doing more. I'm meant to be focusing on my business, astrology, creating content, doing things that inspire me and light me up. That's what my purpose is. I'm here to help others to grow, to ascend. And I've been feeling so trapped and stuck in this life that I created for myself that I tell you, I prayed for this life years ago, but it's not who I am anymore. And so there's this fear because things are starting to actually be really great. I'm starting to really get clients. I'm starting to help people. I'm starting to step into my power. And that's where the fear comes in, because it's like once I let go and I sell all my stuff and I move out of the country, things will never be the same. And that the reality is, as exciting as that is, it scares the fuck out of me. Because then what? Like, you know, then I become better and stronger and I grow and I learn and I'm by the beach and I, you know, like, and yeah, there'll be struggles. It's not going to be perfect, but it's new. It's unknown territory, and it makes me feel the power in my solar plexus, but it terrifies me because things will never be the same in any aspect of my life. And I've been honestly stuck in a loop for quite some time, and I've actually completed that cycle. That's the beauty, is that it is time for something new. I've been doing things in my life so much differently than I have ever, and I'm seeing the benefits, I'm seeing the beauty, but it's freaking terrifying. Change, letting go. And so I created this post actually the other day on Instagram. It was based off of a Ram Dass post about the art of attachment and not being attached to things. But what I realized is that, like, that's true, and not being attached to things is great, but I think more than anything, it's about letting go. Because to experience the human experience is to let love in, is to make mistakes, is to fall and get back up. It's like you're meant to fall in love, get a little lost in love, so that way you can find your way back home to your heart. And gosh, that couldn't be more true, because my love journey has been so beautiful, magical, painful, crazy, divinely guided in every way, even the ones that don't last, like, which obviously none of them have so far. But every time I experience some type of romantic journey, I get closer and closer to myself and closer to healing. And that is where another thing that I've been hiding from is. It is my codependency, which is also ties in with Ram Dass's non-attachment, is being attached to people in my life and having trouble letting go, because I want everyone in my life forever. And let's face it, I am totally that girl that even if we've broken up and we've dated, I don't want you to ever go away. Like, I still want you, even as my friend. I want to know how you're doing. I want to see you happy. I want to see you thrive, because that's how I am. But sometimes that's not always the best call, because letting go is so important. But like, the truth is, I've been really great with transmuting relationships that didn't work into friendships. It just depends on what all has happened and, you know, what, I guess, the connection between the person. Some people I probably won't ever talk to again. I wish them well, I send them love. But some people, it just doesn't work. But some people have become very close friends of mine, and I know that's a possibility. But codependency is a huge thing, and that's something that I've also been hiding from. It stems from my relationship with my mom. It stems from my relationship with my coach. It stems from my relationships in general. And it all has to do with my South Node, past life karma, which is love and relationships and family. And it's not to say that I can't have those relationships. It's to say that they need to be healthy, and that my life and my happiness and my level of independence doesn't need to depend on another person, whether that be a relationship, whether that be my parents, whether that be my coach. And just yesterday, when I was having an emotional meltdown, as I do, we're humans, even mentors and coaches have meltdowns because we are human beings with emotions. And I had a phone call with my coach, and the end result was that I need to learn to hold space for myself. Now, of course, he talked to me and guided me through it as if I would do to my client. But it's true. He has this analogy that hits home. It's about looking in the fishbowl. So we have like in our own brains and our own minds, we're fighting our ego, our shadow, our higher self, like all these things. So it's really hard to think clearly in your own life. But when you're looking out of it and you're looking at another person, you can see clearly the things that the challenges that they're going through, the obstacles they're facing, and you're able to help them integrate those things and find solutions. But when it's happening to yourself, that's a whole another ballgame. And that is exactly why I say all the time, coaches need coaches. Everybody needs a coach, because it's like we all have emotions and we all view things differently. When it's happening to yourself, it is way more intense than if it's happening to someone else, because you can see things on a different level. So it just showed that, I still have been depending on people. If it wasn't my mom, it was my coach. If it wasn't my coach, it was a friend. If it wasn't a friend, it was a lover or a partner. And yes, we do want to depend on other people. And that's why having a coach or a mentor is so important. But at the same time, you need to find the balance and hold space for yourself. So yes, absolutely, accountability, absolutely depend on your friends, because you need another's perspective so you can get out of your own head and out of your shadow. But what is the beauty in all things? It is balance, 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 balance. That means finding balance between seeking help from somebody or holding space for yourself and being able to be there for yourself. And I find that some of the most empowering ways to hold space for myself are speaking out loud. Hence why I do YouTube. Hence also why off camera I talk out loud to myself as if I would a friend. And I hug myself. And I literally, just yesterday, I was just like, I don't know how to help you right now, but I'm here for you. It was emotional. If you would have seen it, it was intense, but it was necessary. And because I released those emotions is why today I feel so much more clear-headed, and I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to take action. And so this is just a friendly reminder to find balance in all things. And definitely if you're at a place where you need guidance and you need help, seek that, absolutely. But it's also a matter of being able to depend on yourself, because there are going to be moments and there are going to be times when the people in your life aren't going to be able to help you. Maybe they're working, maybe they're not available, maybe they're doing something, or maybe they're going through their own mental blocks and they don't have the mental space to help. So it's finding the balance between the two. If you're reaching out to all kinds of people and no one's there to help, that's the time for you to lean into you. Pray about it, talk to yourself out loud, journal, cry, watch a movie that might even make you cry more to release those tears. And speaking of, I watched this awesome movie last night. It was super cheesy, but it reminded me of Finding Nemo. It was the cat's version of Finding Nemo. And the end result is, actually, I'm going to post it at the end because it was so good. They're trying to find this place called Peachtopia, and they find it eventually at the end. And then they all want to go home. And they're like, wow. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, home is where the heart is. No matter what your destination is, you're never going to be fully fulfilled. Right now, we're probably all currently living in a situation that we all prayed for, but it doesn't feel like that because we're always going to want more. The ego is always going to want more. But it just shows that life is meant for expansion. You're never meant to settle and be comfortable. Maybe for a short amount of time, but long term, you're going to want to keep moving. And if you can't find happiness within your own heart and your own soul, you're never going to be happy anywhere else. And that applies to me with my move. I keep saying I'm going to move to Costa Rica and this and that. And I'm just well, the same stuff is going to follow you wherever you go. So anyways, happy full moon. I hope this message was helpful for somebody. A lot of this is Logan's diaries, but I am going to try to make it more informational so that way other people can get use out of it in case you don't learn from my own stories. So there of course will be energy moon readings for full moons and new moons and solar eclipses, also tarot readings and other just random informational stuff. But this is kind of just my personal experience of my journey of escapism. And this leaves me with a question to ask you is, what in your life are you escaping from?
I'm scared of how great things are gonna be. How ridiculous does that sound to say? The things are so amazing and they're about to like fucking take off in such a beautiful way, and I just spit everywhere. God. Yeah, wow, that's powerful.